I'm going to just kind of rapidly go through a number of things that you and I talked about that you know are of great interest, and I think Senator Tester hit on the recruitment, so did Senator Daines. Absolutely critical. We think that DHS has begun a process that can actually result in some successes. Please stay on top of that. We absolutely have to give these folks help, and it's not fair what's happening to a lot of our Border Patrol agents, Customs and Border Protection, who are told literally they cannot move home to other parts of the country or transfer. You're going to lose those folks to other federal agencies who will, in fact, give them an opportunity to move. So it's critical that we pay attention to the workforce. Northern Border passed the bill, signed the bill. We look forward to your analysis, putting your touch on the Northern Border challenges and issues, and greatly interested in how that whole thing comes out. Cybersecurity, I joined Senator Langford in saying we hear it coming at us from all different directions. I think historically the Intel Committee has kind of taken a little jurisdiction there, and we don't want a stovepipe or rice bowl. I think you were saying rice bowl. That's a new one to me. We don't want to silo these issues. We want DHS to assert their important role in cybersecurity. Human trafficking. We just did a hearing this morning for the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations with back pages. It is a scourge. Obviously, you know that the Blue Campaign is working to train officers, has been absolutely a critical resource for people in my state as we confront the area of human trafficking. Please look at that program. I think there's improvements that can be made, but I will tell you that your officers and investigators within DHS have been critical in advancing the cause of protecting children in this country. Something that I don't think has been raised here, which is first responders. I challenge you to take a look at what's happening with volunteer fire departments. The vast majority of area in this country, the fire protection comes from volunteers. Maybe there's a professional or a paid staff person, but the volunteers provide that service. Having a hard time recruiting volunteers. Some of that goes to equipment. Some of that goes to just losing a culture of volunteerism. Somebody else is going to do it. I think it's critical that you assert your role, and going to ask that you pay attention to our Response Act, which just passed, that would take a look at FEMA's role in training people, especially as it relates to hazardous and flammable material on the rails. I think Senator Hassan was hitting on something very critical on the anti-radicalization. Have you had a chance to visit with the folks within DHS who are working on that program and evaluate what you think of that program and how you change the current program that they have?
I have not. We, because of the ingoing, outgoing MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, we can't directly touch, okay. But I'm in there if confirmed.
I just really believe that it is critical, sure, that you bring the expertise of your service historically to that effort. I think that it's a little late in coming, but I think it can be a force for good. And I think it's critically important. There's also some local grants to communities who want to bring a collaborative nature, bring people together, build those relationships that hopefully will, number one, prevent radicalization, but certainly report it as a frontline effort. You know, the motto, see something, say something. If the community does not feel appreciated, respected, or is afraid to report something for fear that it will come back to them, that you aren't going to get the intel that you need. I want to spend just a little bit of time talking about the Northern Triangle. I like to tell, and I think I should tell your wife, the excuse he gave me is you no longer wanted him underfoot. I don't know. But we're extraordinarily grateful, and you must be extraordinarily proud, both his daughter and his wife. This is a remarkable public servant. But one of the reasons why I believe that DHS won the cabinet lottery, and you can tell from perhaps this love fest that we're having with you today, is that is that you have such a breadth of experience in an area that is very challenging to our southern border and really our entire border security. Your work at Southcom is critical. You told me that very many of those Latin American leaders called you and were very excited. That gives us a real opportunity. But one of the things that I think we have missed as we look at the rush of the children to the border is the opportunity that we have to work with organizations like the Organization of American States and UNHCR, who are trying to deal with the people fleeing violence in those communities and in those countries, and refugee in place, by helping Belize, by helping Nicaragua, by helping southern Mexico, by helping Costa Rica, who has taken a fair number of these refugees into their community. Have you had a chance to take a look at those efforts regionally to look at helping people out of violence, but also then stabilizing communities? And are you at all concerned about blanket statements about nation building and whether that's going to restrict or in any way hamstring your ability to bring a different perspective to the Northern Triangle?
Well, Senator, first thing I'd offer, when in Southcom and for my entire career, every discussion really began and ended with human rights and a discussion of human rights. I had a very good relationship up here in Washington, and every time I visited a country, I would make it a point to meet with the local human rights groups, because you get a far different view of what's needed, what the real conditions are from the local human rights people. I'd make the same comment about the church leadership in that part of the world. Of course, it's overwhelmingly Roman Catholic with a very sizable evangelical Christian. Met with those people. Oftentimes, maybe most of the time, the NGOs and organizations like that have a very, very good, a better view and a way ahead that's worth listening to. I spent an awful lot of time with them, so I'm totally in. But at the end of the day, really, to use an overused term, it's really improving the security on the ground and investment. Not just more money to investment monitored in the right way by the right organizations. The Inter-American Development Bank is a particularly good one in that part of the world. I'm not suggesting we give them money. I'm suggesting we rely on them to tell us how to invest that money. But it is a tough problem, and it comes back to the incredible profits that flow out of our country because of the use of drugs. The average American who uses drugs, you say recreationally, doesn't think there's anything wrong with it. The Latins will tell you there's, because of your recreational use or your abuse, thousands and thousands of Latins die every year that shouldn't die. And I just wish we had a campaign to make people understand that there's no such thing as a nonviolent use of drugs.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much to your family and to you for your long service and your continued service to our country.
Thank you, ma'am.